Okay, long time no see. It was way too long. Yeah, I actually planned on always like recording daily. I cannot explain what happened basically. So basically, it was like in the kind of like the last 2 weeks, it was like always kind of starting to get always less and less like the motivation to record videos and stuff. And then I always said to myself, yeah, okay, see, now I forgot to film a training. I guess I'll just talk instead and stuff. And it just kind of, I don't know, it just got lazy. I just got lazy. So, but yeah, I already started my training, which I talked or said to you I would do. That is currently being done, so to say. And I don't know, some would say I got the hypertrophy pill. If you don't know what it means, it's just kind of like a TikTok trend where kind of lots of kind of real science-based lifters are kind of doing like full body every other day, kind of just doing 1 set per exercise in the kind of 4 to 6 rep range. And yeah, basically a friend of mine, he kind of convinced me to do it. So yeah, so since I guess the last training or the last video, I've run full body, and to be honest, I'm quite happy. I first off just generally like the kind of the exercise. They're very kind of different. The first day when I did it, I was kind of like thinking, wait, what did I do with all these years? But of course not in the sense like that I did nothing. That's not like what I'm trying to say, but it was just something new, or it is something new. And yeah, I've run it since like about 2 weeks. That's why I would just see how I get on. The thing is, though, I have to say there is definitely one kind of con about it, and that is that like the training duration is way too long. So like the length or so of the training, it's just so long. The first time where I did full body with the friend, we literally trained like 5 hours together for 2 people. Of course, we trained like quite maximalist, so like we kind of literally trained every single muscle group, forearms. We did like also exercises like pronation and stuff. And yeah, I mean, I'd say even like the fatigue and stuff, it's of course quite like manageable, but the time is just sometimes very long. And I guess I would say maybe for me, I also just generally maybe also just rested a bit long. I don't know. I mean, I rest usually kind of like in a normal set. So if I do kind of, for example, leg press or so, I would maybe rest like 2 to 3 minutes or so, maybe 3 or 4. But the thing is, I do it like on one side, like on one leg. So I guess it's maybe not as maybe fatiguing, I could say, because yeah, I mean, if you do it with one leg, actually, I don't know, maybe it is the same amount of fatigue, but I don't know. No, but my point was just kind of like, I did kind of rest like a bit longer, because I also, I don't just like do one side and then I like wait 5 seconds, breathe in and breathe out, and then do the other one. I guess in the sense of being like optimal, I think it's also not that optimal, because if you don't have enough time, it's maybe even like kind of a drop set, I think, if you do the other side then, because you then don't have maybe that much like, I don't know, air, or like you just didn't rest well enough to then do the other side. So yeah, but I don't know. That's why that was the point basically. So to why maybe the training sessions were kind of so long, or still are. Yeah, so I don't know, currently for me, like a full body training alone is roughly like 3 hours. If you kind of include talking with people and stuff, it can sometimes even be 4 hours. So that's kind of a thing. I have to still maybe find a fix to it. So I don't know. I was thinking, how about I would just usually train on a kind of like a minimalist full body training. So like that for example, like the real kind of fancy exercises, I would say, like pronation, kind of maybe even forearms, but yeah. So just the point that I basically, on the days where I would be kind of like doing this professional training, that I could then yeah, just kind of spend less time in the gym, in the sense of that I can then prepare myself for the kind of next work day and stuff. And then in the kind of on the weekend or so, like Friday and then Sunday, I could then kind of do a bit more maximalist full body training. So include forearms, maybe the fancy kind of bicep exercises and stuff. Yeah, so it's just an idea. Of course, I wouldn't have the kind of usual 3.5 frequency on each muscle group, or in the kind of like forearms or maybe abs or so. But yeah, that would definitely kind of, I'd say, ease the kind of daily lifestyle. So yeah, that's why I'll see. But yeah, and by the way, I think you guys might wonder, like, I don't know, maybe one will or maybe one won't, but the video qualities will most likely not be any more in 4K, because it's like taking quite a lot of like how do you say, storage. And sometimes, like in the previous videos when I was like recording, just while I was recording, it sometimes just said like not enough storage and stuff, and I just literally, while kind of, I don't know, I was like filming, I had to kind of like delete kind of old videos and all. So I guess if you guys would really be intrigued to see things in 4K, I don't know, I guess I could somehow manage it, but for now I think it would be HD. So yeah, I guess I'll just show you guys today's full body again. So and today is Friday, so that's why I guess I will have more time to spend basically in the gym. So most likely I will just show you guys today my full body training. Yeah, let alone, I think the yapping one now already took some time, so today, or basically the first video in 2 weeks or so, will be quite long. I'm just predicting already. Yeah, so I guess I would just say I'll hear you at the gym, and yeah, that's all I have to say. So see you in a second. Bye bye.
So yeah, so basically don't wonder about my hair. My hair is cooked anyway, so but yeah, so the background music, that's just the bike, because I'm like kind of half walking with the bike, but like, all right, so I guess you can guess what time it is right now, or at least how much time I spent in the gym, and it is very cursed, I will say. I did in fact, let me first tell you guys the time. It is 1 o'clock in the morning, and I started at 6. So that roughly means that I was roughly 7 hours in the gym. And at no respect, I want to tell you guys that this is optimal, that what just happened. I don't know if this is good lighting, but yeah, so I just want to tell you guys, like, please don't try this, because that is not optimal. That's just a fact. So but yeah, just also like a quick notice as well, also for the outro, of course, there's no chocolate milk anymore, because I have been on a cut since, like, yeah, basically the last video. So yeah, I'm roughly at like 2,000 calories. Sometimes it varies a lot, so I'm sometimes between 2,000 and like, yeah, roughly 3,000 at maximum, because usually my maintenance is like at around 3,100. So yeah, so, and basically I can't tell you guys for sure, but like also because of like uploading, I guess my split before was a bit better, because I could kind of, it had more, it varied a bit more from training to training, you know, because you saw like different exercises and stuff more often. But because it would be, now in this case theoretically, always full body, you guys would always just see the same stuff, so it wouldn't vary too much. Just basically you'd see that from, I guess, from video to video to video, you would most likely see progressions in weight and reps, of course. But yeah, that's kind of, yeah, that's the point or the problem. So if you guys have any ideas for like recording or stuff or content, so you can just write down in the comments below. Another note, yeah, I wanted to add was that basically to the training itself, I am conscious, like for example when I did the hip thrusts, it looked very unclean. I don't know if you could see it in the video, but like basically the bench, I had the feeling, at least, maybe you can see it, slightly moved for every kind of rep I did or so, and that definitely kind of hindered my lift, at least for that session, because there are like 2 Smith machines in the gym, and we did it, or at least I did it on one, where it's kind of like, yeah, I've never done it before, and yeah, I don't know, and the ground was also not like out of this rubber, so yeah, it was more prone to kind of slip. So basically, yeah, that's kind of, usually I did with that weight like 5 reps, but this time only 3, which was a bit of a shame, but I guess in the end, if I stick to the other location, it should get, or even itself out. So and there were also some other lifts where maybe I think even only did like 2 reps or 3, or where I'll say the execution of the movement of the exercise was also not too good. But in that case, usually I use like an app to log my lifts also, so basically I can then just yeah, if I say like it was very unclean or so, I can just kind of keep it at that rep, or I can say I'll just keep the reps and the weight the same, and basically then from like, I don't know, 1 or 2 trainings later, it should either stay at that amount of reps, and therefore the, how should I say, the form should get better. But yeah, or like, I don't know, or the weight just goes up and the form still stays bad. But no, usually I try to aim that the form would stay acceptable, and then the weight progression would go up. But yeah, or the reps, of course. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I think this will be a very long video, or I think it is already. I just predicted it already. So yeah, Also due to all the training clips and stuff, it's crazy. So yeah, and I guess, okay, this is just like a small unnecessary thing, I guess. For the real kind of full body maximalists out there, they would probably maybe say like, oh, why didn't you train like your neck or your tibialis or obliques, you know? I guess I'd say like, yeah, you're right. But I'd say like there is kind of, how should I say? There is a point, you know, like it gets to a point where I think you kind of have to chill a bit, because I mean, I cut actually, in fact, a bicep exercise out today. It was kind of called like the pronation. Kind of when you're doing like standing dumbbell curls, and then you first have it neutral and then you go up. That's like this movement. That's like pronation. Sometimes I do it. Today I kind of didn't. Yeah, I think if I would have done it, I would have just been even longer in the gym. So yeah, that's why, yeah, 7 hours is way too long. But yeah, it is what it is. So I guess you can now see my current training. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, if you have any ideas or so for content to make things more exciting or so, leave it down in the comments below. And for now, I would just say I'll see you, and yeah, have a good one. See you. Bye bye.